It is showtime. Are we live? We are definitely live. What's up, chat? How we all doing tonight? Friends of friends, friends of Hank, Greivis Vásquez joining us in a few moments here. A man who played his high school ball alongside Kevin Durant, spent 4 incredible years at Maryland under Gary Williams, where he became the only player in ACC history to compile 2,000 points, 700 assists, and 600 rebounds. Think about that. Then, of course, a very solid pro career with multiple teams, including his 2012 season, where he actually led the league in total assists. Streets will never forget General Greivis, and he's going to join us in just a few moments. But let me start with this, because I was going to open with a Knicks topic regardless. I was going to talk about how bad that loss was. And I see my compadre Jaime smiling in the background backstage. But let me say this, because this came across like an hour ago, and I just found this out. Michael Rubin and the Sixers ownership group are reportedly buying 2,000 tickets to ensure Sixers fans are in the building for Game 6 and limit the inventory for unpleasant Knicks fans to purchase on the resale market. Wow. Never in my life have I ever seen a professional sports fan base who claims to be the best sports city in the world get completely overrun by another fan base to the point where ownership now has to step in. And since their ownership is stepping in, I'll look in the camera for this one. James Dolan, I want you to buy 4,000 tickets. Michael Rubin's buying 2,000. I want you to buy 4,000. And with those 4,000 tickets, I want to see you send NYPD, NYFD, and any other person who represents this city, like public worker who represents this city, simply because this Knicks team is everything that New York basketball fans need in their team. Gritty, 94 feet, playing for each other, scrappy, overlooked point guard, late round draft picks left and right, guys coming from the second round, Hartenstein coming 3 years in the G League. The way the Knicks alumni is like embracing these guys. You got John Starks going full AAU dad mode. This is a beautiful thing to watch. And while I feel that Game 5 loss was as bad of a loss as I've witnessed as a Knicks fan, let me remind you first that famous Reggie Miller game that we all have seen too many times in our lives, the Knicks blew a 12-point fourth quarter lead at MSG in Game 4 in 94, right? However, the Knicks were able to regroup like true warriors, won Game 6 on the road, and went on to win the series. So rest assured, there's life. This team is seasoned, and we're walking into a building with our home fans, and we're walking into a building where there are 2 banners in the roof that our guys won. The Knicks are winning this series. I don't care if it takes 6 games, 7 games. Knicks are winning this series. And with that, enough smiling back there, because it is time to say hello to my good friend Jaime Gutierrez.
What's up, my brother? How you
What's up?
doing?
Did you like my little open?
Yeah, the only one thing I don't agree with is I don't think they're the so-called best fan base. I think that title goes to Boston. Boston. No, listen, Boston is always claimed to be the best fan base. That's what I'm saying. They
This is
always
true.
claim like, oh, we're the best. We stand behind our team, you know. So I don't know. I mean, Philly. Yeah, they come out and then they sometimes say we're top of the line, but for me, Boston always is like we're the best fan base. We have the best people. We stay in the building till the last second. This and that, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is true, and you get on me for this all the time, rightfully so. But Knicks fans truly don't know how to act.
I mean, I told you from the beginning. They don't, man. They don't
Yeah,
know how to act, man. They're wild, and sometimes delirious. You
they
know.
I will say this though, and I'm sure you enjoyed watching this as a Heat fan, but that Game 5 loss was as brutal of a loss I've ever witnessed in my life as a Knicks fan, and I've seen a lot of brutal losses.
I will tell you this. It felt I'm not a Knicks fan, but I was like, damn, that's stung. Like when we lost last year to Boston in Game 6 with the Derek White putback, I was
Yeah,
like, I was devastated. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I know how it feels that yeah, it's bad. It's a bad one.
It was a bad one. To have that image in your mind, up 6 with 30 seconds left. The only possible way they win is the exact way that they won. Like you get 3 bonehead plays by the Knicks. You foul when you shouldn't. You miss a free throw. And then my big thing is why did Tibbs not call a timeout on that final possession? I thought he could have called. He had two. I maybe it was one, but I think I'm pretty sure he had two. And like we always say, you can't sell your timeouts on eBay. You may as well use one. And in that moment, I thought for sure he needed to take a timeout and say, hey, let's think this one through. And it didn't happen, and it cost us. I think that was it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the thing I think about this now is like, oh, okay, well, that happened to the Sixers in, was it game 2, right? Where they fumbled the inbound pass and then the Knicks stole it and then they hit the three, right? So I
Yeah.
guess full circle for the
Mm.
Knicks. They were on the bad end of the stick.
Yeah. We
On this.
They were. We got a controversial comment here from the man Kirk. He said Jalen Brunson lost them that game. I think he took every shot in overtime, 3 turnovers. Not look, Kirk, fuck you first of all, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Jalen Brunson got hot in the beginning of overtime and then did take some tough shots that he probably didn't need to take. Kirk, you're a Celtics guy, so I have to say that, but you
I
are right.
actually I agree with him. I mean, I didn't see a lot of ball movement in overtime. There was not a lot of ball movement in overtime.
Yeah, Kirk has
So
a lot of Kirk.
that's what
Kirk's got his jokes tonight. He said,
that that's a good. No, but yeah, Jalen Brunson. I mean, Henry, your Knicks are gonna go as far as Jalen goes. I already see
"Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah,
what I'm concerned about your Knicks is when they face a very tough defensive matchup, right?
mhm,
Where the opposing coach is gonna say, okay, we're gonna lock down Jalen and we're gonna put our best defender, no matter if he has to play X amount of minutes.
mhm,
That's when it's gonna get a little tough for the Knicks because then who's gonna score?
yeah."
You
I
know,
know. I hear you.
Jalen is your playmaker and your scorer. He gets
Yeah,
the other guys involved. So, you know, you've played basketball before. When you start struggling, you're like you start pressing, and seeing
mhm,
what you could do. And I don't think they've done that to Jalen in this series. And when they might, second round Eastern Conference, if you guys make it, that's gonna be a little bit more, a little bit more of an issue. Who's gonna be the guy who's gonna step up?
yeah. Are you at all? Um, do you have any faith left in Miami doing anything in the series against Boston as a Heat fan?
You know what? With Porzingis out, I do think that we have a chance. You
Hmm.
know, I do think that we have a better chance of a victory. I mean, I do. Yeah, I have faith in my squad,
Hmm.
but it's tough. It's tough. No Butler. No Jaime tonight. No Rozier.
Yeah. You know what
Yeah,
I
it's
love
hard. It's hard. It's hard. I am a little. I'm down. I'm down. I'm a little down.
It's
So
tough. It's tough. You know what I do love? The unique thing about the Knicks and the Heat is that in an era of NBA players who tend to make things about themselves, and in an era where the ball just stops moving and guys don't want to play defense, the Knicks and Heat stand alone as the two teams that, notably this year in the NBA, play like a real group of guys. Like they kind of play in a way that's how basketball is supposed to look, especially Miami. I know it does. Things haven't gone their way this year, but the way they're playing the game, I think, is still so enjoyable. And even though the Knicks and the Heat are rivals, I'd rather see a team like Miami go through and at least damage Boston a little bit here.
I mean, I think we will. I think we will.
Minnesota Timberwolves actually play a night.
I,
Yeah, you're right.
I
Kirk
think.
Kirk got facts tonight.
I think. To be honest with you, I think that the Heat they could go 6 maybe.
Yeah,
So, but let's see.
6 would be
Let's
good.
see.
6 would be good. Hang on, real quick. My laptop's about to die because I forgot to plug it in. I know we're live, but the lads don't. Um, but nevertheless, I mean, can we talk about for a second how much of a legend Greivis Vásquez is? Oh, is that Greivis on right now?
Yeah, he was telling me. Hold on. Give me a chance to get him. I know we live, but it's live. How we say it? Fuck it, we do it live.
We're live not only are we live hosts, we're live producers as well, producing this show
Yeah,
ourselves, thanks to our good
that's right.
friends over at StreamYard. But speaking of StreamYard, though, if you are someone in the comment section who is, looking to advance your world in the creator space, StreamYard's an absolute must. And if you look at the link in our YouTube description, you can get a discount code below. Just copy and paste it. Use that link that you see, and get StreamYard. If you're going to enter this world of content, StreamYard's a must. It's your home for broadcasting live recordings. It's like Zoom, but built for the creator, is how I could put it. So go ahead and use that link below. But the question I had before is, like, Greivis, among players the streets will never forget, Greivis Vásquez is very high on that list, I think.
100%. 100%. I mean, look, for us Latin American, Hispanic, people, Greivis was a very, very good player, very talented player. He represented, Latinos all over the place, all over the world. So, along with all the other guys who played in not just in the NBA, but across FIBA. It's always been a pleasure to see those guys represent at the highest level.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, the swagger and like the killer instinct that you saw when Greivis played was just so, like, you could feel it through the TV when this guy was like killing Duke and he was shushing the crowd. Like, he played with such a fucking attitude that was perfect for Maryland.
Yeah, no, and there's a couple of cool pictures of him, like like inbounding the ball at Duke, and everybody
Yeah,
kind of giving him the, that yeah, he's posted some of those. Those are pretty cool. It's iconic moments, man. Pretty cool moments, man. So
yeah. He was a dog for sure. And it is like funny, people don't realize this, but he played alongside Kevin Durant in high school.
yeah, high school, yeah.
And
It's
go
crazy.
ahead.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's that people don't people. It's crazy. It's crazy. They got
I'm
the
very
opportunity.
curious his opinion on it, because, and we'll ask him when he comes on, but I feel like the Suns certainly just fell short of their expectations, fell short of our expectations. I'm curious, his perspective on it, because he played with Durant and now he's got that coaching lens. But
I'm gonna say I'm disappointed in the Suns. I was rooting for them, and I had them going far, and no luck, no
yeah.
cigar.
Yeah,
So
Kirk, our boy Kirk just signed off. He said, "I got to drop, boys, but good stuff. I'll see the rest later." C's winning tonight. Heat covering, though. He said, "You like the Heat
oh
to cover?"
yeah,
I believe 14.5. I believe it is.
no Porzingis. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Covering. I mean, 14 is a big number.
Eh, we did it last time.
14 is big. It feels like a trap almost. No Porzingis. It's in Boston.
Like I said, I have them going 6 games. Just for the record, when we lost Butler, I always said Celtics in 6 most likely.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping we could get this one, bring them back home, and see the Heat one more last time.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you guys. It would be really nice to see them win. I think the boy Jaquez has really come into his own, and I think he plays such a nice game.
Yeah, 100%. And I think another guy, that's representing, you know, the Hispanic gang, like we say,
Mhm. Yeah.
very well. Mexican, has played before the Mexican national team before. So I mean, we hope to see him again, representing the international game. But he's really, really played very well. Full game. 4 years at UCLA did him very well.
Yeah, he does everything. Oh, there's Greivis, the man. All right, so we'll go ahead and welcome the man Greivis Vásquez on here in just a moment. But Jaime, let me say, you're doing an incredible job producing this show. Like, what a find! This is one of my all-time favorite college players that I ever saw. Of course, an insane pro career that no ACC fan will ever forget. But so happy to have him on. A guy I've loved watching growing up, the man, Greivis Vásquez. How are you, brother? We
Can you
got you,
hear?
Greivis? You got us, Grievous? Check, check,
Hello.
1, 2.
We
Hey,
can hear you.
we got you.
We got you. We can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
But I don't hear you guys.
You can't hear us?
Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah,
Settings,
part of the fun part of going live
audio,
is you never know what could happen.
mic.
Grievous,
Sorry, guys.
We hear
it's all
you.
good. We hear you, brother.
We hear you. No, now we don't.
Oh, now we don't.
Hello.
Hey,
We
we
hear
got
you.
you now.
Now, yes.
Yeah. You hear
There it
us?
is.
Ahora sí.
Yes.
Ahora now.
Yes, sir.
Now
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, puppy. It's all good. It's all good. Listen, we're gonna get right into it because I don't want to waste a lot of your time, Greivis. Gracias, puppy. Thank you for your time. So, Henry, let's kick it off with the question of the documentary. So I know you
Yeah.
had a question because I know he's on the promotion tour.
Of course, yeah, man. Well, first of all, congrats on all the success and everything you've done in your basketball career. It was an absolute pleasure to watch you all the way back from the Maryland days. But now we get to kind of rewatch all of that because you are in the midst of a documentary called All I Ever Wanted, directed by Carlos P. Beltran, who's actually an Emmy Award winner. I looked him up, very talented guy. But congratulations on this. What more can you tell us about this project?
Uy. The thing is a little delayed, so can you repeat the last thing you say so I can answer it?
Yeah, what can you tell us about the documentary you're working on now? What can you tell us about the project?
Well, first, guys, thank you for the invite. It means a lot. It's always good when you talk to friends, and I got a real good friend right now here that supported me through a lot of different things in terms of basketball, but um, making or producing a documentary, it's been a life changing thing for me. I mean, working with Carlos Beltran, which is the director of the film. He's Venezuelan also. One of the things about this documentary is about to send, it's about sending a message. It's not really focusing on like my career or what I went through with my injury. It's more so like a message to the Latin side, to the Latin market, to my culture, specifically Venezuela, meaning that every time you go through tough times, sometimes you perhaps bolder or feel like, oh, I don't want to keep going. It's so hard. And imagine playing in the NBA and all of a sudden you're not playing in the NBA because an injury. And also, my last contract was for 4 years, $60 million. So I wanted to document it all that. I wanted the world to know. Look, I'm a human being. I'm going through a lot. I'm also a father, a son, a friend, um, all the above. And sometimes you forget because you caught up in the time of playing basketball at the highest level. So it was more than being a basketball player. And I thought Carlos, the director of the film, did a tremendous job. We spent it 8 years working together, having full access of me. I never had any complaints, but I also we were such a great teammates that I never told Carlos, "Yo, I don't want this. I don't want you to feel me doing this. I don't want my ex-wife to be on the film." It was just like, "Hey, man, show the world this access. Put this together," and he structured the documentary. It was, I mean, my read on this world premiere that we had in Dallas was unbelievable. How a lot of people from the industry, the movies industry and cinema industry was like, wow, how do you structure this film in 8 years? 8 years. We spent 8 years to get this film together, and that was my first time watching the film, and it was unbelievable, man. What a tremendous experience! I right away called my father and my mom and dad and my kids, and I go like, "Hey, you guys gotta watch this." I mean, it was hard, but at the same time, it was emotional. But more so, I'm so proud of everyone that participated, that helped us, and the whole team putting this together, specifically Carlos. Such a great job, man. I was like, Carlos, I'm so proud of you. I'm sorry. Sometimes I was underestimating the project because I'm not from this environment in terms of movie and how can we promote this and that. But now I kind of have an idea, and I tell you this, guys, this is gonna be a life changer for me. I mean, it's gonna change my life. He already did, but now that it's gonna be public, that we're gonna go through a lot of different festivals, and we just need one person to fall in love with the film, so we can take it to another level and sign like a distribution deal and see if we can put it on these huge networks like HBO, Netflix, and either way, we're gonna push it to actually, because imagine it's Kevin Durant on the film, it's Kyle Lowry, Manu Ginobili, the other two previous NBA players that played in the NBA from Venezuela, which is Carl Herrera, Oscar Torres. So it's a great content. We did it's a great product,
Yeah.
and like I say, man, it was unbelievable. It was a great experience. The Dallas Film Festival was good. I had a great time. I never thought that the whole thing was gonna be like that. I was really excited. I was like, it was a Q&A, and it was like 60 to 65 people in the room watching the film, and most of them were Americans, and were like, wow, how do you guys how do you guys did this, how do you produce this, how do you structure this? To the questions were highly interesting, and to me that was a tremendous experience.
Wow, really well said. I for one am so excited to see this, and I think don't sell yourself short, brother. When people hear that there's a documentary about Greivis Vásquez, people are absolutely going to be signing up to see that. I can promise you that. But you touched on
Thank you.
something, of course. You touched on something important though, and you mentioned the other Venezuelan players. But I read the comments on your social media and all the hype about the movie. The love you're getting from people in Venezuela, they're filling the comment section, and like you really are a trailblazer in this basketball world coming from Venezuela. But my question for you is, who were some of the players you looked up to growing up? Because Venezuela is not a place where they're pumping out NBA talent left and right. So who are the guys like you modeled your game after, and who you looked up to?
Well, that's a great question. I grew up watching college basketball, and the reason I wanted to go to the United States and enroll to in high school and later on to college was because a guy named Diego Guevara. That's what I use, number 21. He's a Venezuelan player that used to play. He went to the United States and went to a few high school, and he ended up going to University of UNC Charlotte, and he went to the NCAA tournament. I watched a lot of games on ESPN, and I was like, I want to be playing at that level. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to go to the States. And later on, watching NBA, obviously Mamba mentality. Shout out to Kobe. Coming from Venezuela, my mentality have to be different. Being an international player, the grind is different. The way you walk, the way you think, you actually taking away a job for an American. You're taking like a scholarship away from an American student, and that's what I did in a good way. I earned it. I worked my butt off. But you go into a country, and I went to United States. My first time was September 24th, 2004. No, September 25th. That was the first time I touched the United States, specifically Washington D.C., the Reagan Airport, D.C. Airport. So watching college basketball, watching Diego Guevara was important. Watching Kobe was important. Then later on, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd. I resemble my game on Jason Kidd's game because he's a 6'5", 6'6" point guard. I can rebound the ball, can distribute, can run a team, can make him, obviously as a point guard, he was one of the best passers that ever played the game. And he got him better in terms of shooting throughout his career. And to me, at the end of his career, he was better. It was a better shooter than actually a PG. So I resemble my game on those guys: Mamba mentality, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Diego Guevara. I try to empower my culture, and the reason I used number 21, but it was because Diego, and he ended up playing the professional league here in Venezuela. I'm actually in Venezuela right now, and I'm a huge fan of the professional league in Venezuela. And like I always say, man, I'm proud to be Venezuelan. I'm proud to work with the Latin culture. To me, it's about my culture and empowering my culture and helping my culture. It's something that I have in my blood, and that's something that I am going to do for the rest of my life, man.
I love that. Such a good answer. Go ahead, Jaime.
No, yeah. So Graves, I have something for you, puppy, and I have something. We have a big Maryland fan right here in Henry,
Nice,
and he
nice.
and he loved following your career. So I'm trying to set him up, Henry. Go ahead and ask your Maryland question because he loved watching you play, Graves, and he was like, "Man, I used to love watching that
Go
guy.
ahead, man.
I watching that guy play." So
Hey guys, it's a holiday here in Venezuela, and when Jaime told me, "Hey, you got an interview with me on Wednesday 7:30," I'm like, "Bro, I'm a soldier. Who can say no to Jaime? This guy help everyone. He makes everyone happy, and it's hard because he's working with Latinos, and most of us, honestly, we are divas. We're like, fuck no, man. Don't call me 7:30. We either divas or late. He was like, "Hey, G, please be." I'm like, "Yo, I got you. I got you. I got you." So,
So no, so that's why I really wanted you to come on, man, because he was a huge fan of yours, especially in Maryland, man. And we all know the historic career that you had in Maryland, Hall of Famer of Maryland now. So, Henry, go ahead and do your thing, buddy.
Yeah. So I always say if you're a fan of the ACC, and it's the conference I've followed the closest most of my life, you can't have a conversation about ACC basketball without talking about Greivis Vásquez and the incredible career you had alongside Gary Williams and a bunch of other very talented players at Maryland. But my number one question that most ACC fans want to know about you, Greivis, is why and how did you always save your best games for killing Duke?
bro, you're asking great questions, but I actually love Duke, and the reason I love Duke was the fact that I knew that if I played well against them, I was able to be on national television, and everyone, all the scouts and everyone around the country, even the world, were watching my game. So I was not afraid of the moment. I wanted to compete against the best of the best, and coming from Venezuela, I only had so many chances. You know what I mean? So like playing in the ACC, before I got to the ACC, a lot of my friends and people around me, my surrenders, were like, "Oh no, how come you're gonna go to the ACC? You crazy? That's a guard conference. You're too slow. I don't think you're gonna have a chance to play there." And I took that personal. So I ended up going to Maryland because I was doing my homework one day. I went to Montrose Christian School in Rockville, Maryland. I ended up graduating from high school with Kevin Durant, and we had a great senior year together. Uh, so one day I was doing my homework and I was watching Maryland against Duke at Duke. So I'm just looking at Kate. I'm just looking at Coach Williams just yelling and cussing at the assistant coaches, and I go like, "Shit, I want to play for that man. I love that passion. I love his fire. I want to play for that man." And he was like, "No, oh, he doesn't like to recruit. I want to play for him." So 2 weeks after, it was open period. So I say that loud, and I was telling my high school coach, Stu Vetter. Shout out to Stu Vetter. No, he's like my stepfather. He helped me tremendously. And Coach Atkins too. He was the assistant, Coach Vetter's assistant coach. With that being said, so I was telling Coach Atkins and Coach Vetter, "Look, I want to go to Maryland. I don't want to visit any other school." So I was actually playing really well. And 2 weeks after, I was doing my homework at the living room, watching Duke against Maryland, telling myself I want to play for that coach. I was practicing with my team, with Montrose. And then at the end of practice, Coach Vetters called me to his office, and I'm like, "What is he calling me? I didn't cheat on the test. I wasn't talking to girls. I wasn't doing anything wrong." So I'm walking down to his office, and I go like, "Shit, they're gonna expel me." Well, I mean, I got scared because Coach Vetters is also like a military way, like everything gotta be by the book, and I'm like, I've been doing great. So all of a sudden, when I'm walking down the stairs, I just see Gary Williams, the coach that I was watching 2 weeks ago on TV, with an envelope. And I'm like, what's going on? So then Coach Vedder introduced me, Coach Williams, and he shook. You know how Coach Williams used to shake hands like this, like you give you like. It was funny because I'm trying to shake like it was funny, and I shook his hand and be like, Coach, I really want to play for you. And he goes like, well, you don't have to say it no more. Here in your hands, you have the intent letter, the letter of intention for
Yeah,
you to
letter.
go to. For we want you at Maryland, so you got a full scholarship right here in your hand. So whenever you're ready, let us know. I'm like, hey, I don't want to think this twice. I want to go to Maryland. I want to play for you, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made because I you guys know that I never took one visit to any other school. Like you're allowed to have 5 visits at that time. I don't know how the rules are right now, but you're allowed to only have 5 visits. And I didn't take one visit at all. I
Are
just
you
went to Maryland,
serious?
man, and that was those 4 years. They were the best 4 years of my life, man, by far.
Wow, so amazing. Well, who is that? You played in one of the golden eras of the ACC. Like, you had some real teams. Those Duke teams were strong. Obviously, the Carolina teams were strong. You had some good Virginia Tech teams. Who was a player in college who was really hard to play against?
Well, I competed against a lot of different players. One of the players that gave me hard time because his speed and how good he was in college was Taiwan Lawson. Ty Lawson. I went to UNC. Just how fast, and he was actually from Maryland as well. So summertime, he used to go back to Maryland and hang out with us at school. So we play a lot of pickup games, and then that's when I adjusted my game with him because I was able to compete every summer against him, and it was easier to me even follow up to the NBA because we had a lot of workouts against each other in the NBA draft through the whole NBA draft. So Ty Lawson was a speedy mode that it was so hard to guard. A great player, wasn't scared at all of big moments. Knew how to play under control as well. So it was so hard for me to play him one on one or defense. Defending him was a pain in the butt. So, but like I say, because summertime he used to go back to his crib at Maryland, so he used to play pickup games with us at school. So our pickup games were like NBA pickup games because at that
Yeah.
time KD was out of Texas. So he got drafted, second pick in the draft, and he went to Seattle. So Seattle got eliminated quick, not quick, but during the regular season. So KD went back to Maryland as well. So we were playing like Michael Beasley, Nolan Smith, Ty Lawson, Greivis Vásquez. It was like Steve Blake at that time too.
Yeah.
Some of the former Maryland players, some of the Georgetown players as well. So we just to alternate, like go to Georgetown and play pickup. Man, that was a great time. That. I wish I can take that time back because the way I see basketball now and the way that I played it in college and in the NBA is just obviously a bit different. But those times
Yeah.
were like unbelievable. The DMV, yeah, little shooter was there too, and he wasn't even getting on the court. Imagine that. Now these guys don't miss a shot.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yo, Gravis, I got something for you real quick. How did it feel to play with KD in high school and know that, you guys were obviously a great tandem because, everybody knows KD and everybody knows you coming out of that area for college.
Well, it was a privilege. It was a blessing. Honestly, I'm, you know me, Jaime. I'm a humble kid from Caracas, and all of a sudden I landed it in Montrose Christian School. My junior year was unbelievable, and then my senior year, I'm like, who's KD? Like, what is going on? Oh, KD was going to transfer from Oak Hill, probably the best high school in high school history in the whole United States. He was transferring to Montrose, and I started seeing KD doing like taking extra credit subjects in the summer for school. I'm like, I needed to take it as well because English was my second language. So at that time, I wasn't really speaking fluent English, so it was hard. So me and him were going to class together, and then we built that brotherhood, and then that translated on the core for wins, and that brotherhood continues. With that being said, he's on my film, on my documentary. So playing with KD, man, was a blessing. Jaime, it was a tremendous experience for me, for my former high school teammates. To me, KD deserves everything he got going in his life right now. He's a hard worker, great guy. Excuse me, he's really mellow. The only thing with him is like the Twitter thing, like he's react, but I know him. His heart is on the right path. He really helped me tremendously as well. Every time I call him, he responds. He's right there for me, and we know who he is. So I'm so proud of him, man. I'm proud of him, and every time I watch him play, even now, I send him a text message every now and then, just telling him, look, man, I'm here if you need me. Whether you respond me right away or not, I'm here because I'm in his corner, just like I know he's on my corner as well. So that was just me. That was just God, man, being great to me. You don't have that much of a privilege playing against or playing with one of the best players, a Hall of Famer, like that, especially in high school when like I remember back in those days, Nike used to send him boxes of shoes, and I'm thinking inside myself like, this motherfucker is like size 18. None of these shoes just fit me. I want to get some shoes too. So that's the only thing I didn't take advantage. I didn't take advantage of all the packages that he used to get. I only took advantage of the fact that we had a lot of media attention, and I was like, "Who's the other kid? Like the skinny, big nose kid? He's from Venezuela, or he's from Minnesota? Like, no, he's from Venezuela."
Henry, what do you got, Henry? So we
Yeah.
could wrap it up soon.
Yeah. We'll really appreciate your time. And I know we're running late here, but you're an absolute pleasure to talk to. I kind of want to put you on the spot for a second. You played under Gary Williams,
sir.
who's one of the greatest college coaches, I think, in my lifetime, at least. What's one of the most important life lessons or basketball lessons that you ever learned under Gary Williams?
Well, Gary, that's a great question, man. It was more than my coach. Gary was. I get emotional because he believed in me. It was more than basketball. I remember going to his office just to talk about different things, and one of the biggest things with Gary that in practice he was always trying to help me to get better and make good reads. He was a guy that he was a player's coach. I mean, this guy was so unbelievable. Like people used to criticize him because of recruiting and all that, but this guy, if you go to work with him, and if you are like committed to your work ethic, and he sees how hard you work, he is gonna develop you. I wish you can go back to coaching again because we're going through a tough time back in Maryland. Even though we have a new coach right now he really had a good year, it's just so hard not to see Gary on the sidelines, and it's hard for me because he transformed my game. He gave me the ball. I was a starting point guard my freshman year. I earned it, but because of him, he was also he held me accountable. He held me accountable. He was like, "Hey, that's not the right way to do these things or such a thing. Or come here. You got to communicate to your teammates a little bit better. You gotta set a good example, and just a little thing like you have to set a good example to like coming out of Coach Williams' mouth was like the world to me. Then I went out there just kill it, man. Just in practice, after practice, before practice, going to class. I wanted to play for him. I always say this to all the kids that I help or that I'm helping right now. Like, you don't play for a team, you don't play for a club, you play for your coach. You play for your coach. Like, you cannot let your coach down, man. It's just like, will you let your mom and dad down? No, right? So you won't let your coach down, man. So a lot of young players nowadays like, oh, he gotta trust me. No, no, no. You gotta earn the trust of your coach. He gotta trust you, but that trust you have to earn it. And I earned that with Gary, and Gary gave me the keys, the car keys, to drive the car because he knew that I was never gonna let him down. I made a lot of mistakes, but he knew my mistakes were to help my team to try something to win games. Sometimes I was a little bit selfish in terms of like I remember one game he was trying to send me a message, so he talked to one of the assistant coaches and he goes like, man, tell Greivis he gotta get his teammates involved. And I'm like, oh, he just didn't want to tell me that. With the relationship that I had with him, he just didn't want to tell me that. Okay, the next game we played against NC State at home. So I didn't take a shot in the first half. I didn't take a shot. And I ended up having 17 assists that game. And in the second half, he goes like, are you ever going to take a shot? I was like, no, I'm not taking a shot until you tell me that I'm allowed to take a shot. And I say, Greivis, fuck you. Just take a shot, bro. So like that was the relationship we had. We communicated pretty good. Like, I used to go to his office and people thought I was like, I used to go to his office and talk about my country, politics in my country. We used to talk about different things in the United States and like NBA. It was a player coach relationship, but it was different. It was a little bond where like we connected pretty well, and that translated to wins on the court. And that helped me in my career nowadays to be who I am. You know what I mean? Like going back to Maryland, still working on the NBA platform, having a great relationship with FIBA because of Jaime and what he's doing, connecting all the former players. So that's what life is all about. You know, the network you build and how you behave and how I would say how educated you are in a way and how well you are to others, because you have to serve. At the end of the day, life is too short, but it's a circle. You don't know who you're gonna see here or down here. You know what I mean? So like that's why I'm so thankful about my years at Maryland and my teachers, my professors, my coaches, even the Latinos that used to clean and clean the whole arena. All of them. I remember all of them. To this point, they're still my friends.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
that's
gonna make me cry, bro. When it's just such a nice feeling when the players you look up to as a kid, which is what you are to me, end up being really good humans as well. And we've taken up so much of your time, but congrats on all the success. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch your career unfold, and I hope we get you again soon because I love hearing from you. I love hearing your stories, and big shout out to Jaime for making the connection. And thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it.
No, it's all good. I got one thing to say though. One more thing to say because we got to give him his flowers, right? So Henry, what did we look? The crazy stat that everybody doesn't really sometimes know. So what year was it, Henry?
So let me double check. It was the 2012 season. Greivis Vásquez led the NBA in total assists.
People have to look that up because more than CP3, more than all the other point guards that were playing at that time. So
Rajon Rondo, imagine that playing for the Boston Celtics at that time. Yep. But guys, thank you for giving me my flower because now that I don't play any more basketball and I wish I can get 30 seconds because I love the game so much. That was a tremendous effort, and that was Monty Williams right there trusting me. But more so, being Latino and the league, playing in the NBA and leading the whole league in assists, in total assists, that is something that I'm proud of. And I'm proud of because we can do a lot of different things that sometimes we don't even see. We got everything right in front of our face, and we searching other ways. And we right here, we got it. So that was a tremendous accomplishment, and that was hard. And I ended up leading the whole league in assists, and I go like,
easy.
wow,
That's not easy, Greivis. That's
not
not
at
easy,
all.
bro.
Not at all. So thank you guys for saying that, and I hope all the young players that are watching this, please learn about that. The reason we do this podcast and this conversation is just because we're trying to give knowledge to the youth, to others, to take whatever they can take and be better human beings, be better basketball players, be better fathers, be better cousins, and all that stuff, partners, and that's what to me life is all about.
So well said, my brother. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll talk to you soon.
Greivis, thank you, brother. And look, good luck in the film. Good luck with the film, and then good luck with the commentary for the Washington Wizards as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time.
What a guy. I'm still geeking. What an absolutely incredible human, you know.
That's good now. I mean, look, he's in Venezuela right now, man. You know, representing his country, man. So he's out there doing his thing. You know, trying to just live and give back, because obviously hell of a basketball player.
Mm-hmm. We have another guest who's actually backstage with us right now. If he gives me the thumbs up, I'll go ahead and welcome him on. But he was in the midst of training America's youth. I always tell him, let me handle the shooting drills, you handle the ball handling, because I know you pumping out broke shooters left and right. But well, once you give me that thumbs up, and there's the thumbs up. So there he is. What's up, Coach?
Yo, the absolute legend, Greivis Vásquez. Oh,
yeah,
man, what a fucking interview. What a guy. What a story. I had so much shit I wanted to chime in with. I was in the chat like, yo, get my question out there. And then Jaime said, yo, let's get the question out there. I thought he was talking to me. He was talking to Henry. I'm like, shit. Yo, I've been to his high school, Jaime.
Yeah.
I've been to his high school because one of my assistant coaches when I was working for Carmelo Anthony played high school basketball at Montrose.
Nice.
Which is Jesse Sapp. He says some of the DC Georgetown guys used to come down and play with him. Sapp was with Georgetown, and I remember he went to school with KD and Michael Beasley and Lethal Shooter. So they were all on the same.
When you put Lethal Shooter, he remembered like, yeah, he was there, and they didn't even get to play him that much. It's crazy. It's crazy. The basketball world is so small, man. Like we've always said, the basketball world is super, super tiny.
Yeah, it's true. You're never more than, if you know Jason, you're never more than like 2 phone calls away from somebody in the basketball world.
Who, me?
Well, between you and Jason, I'm never more than like 1 phone call away.
Listen.
No, yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I haven't talked to Jay in depth, but we probably got one person in common that we know. And we're like, you know him? I'm like, yeah, I know him. So
that was a great show, though, man. That was dope.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you know what? I wanted to make it
and
happen.
I knew about the assist leaders too.
Oh, okay. No, but I wanted to make it happen for my boy Henry, because ever since we was at ESPN, he was like, yo, Maryland, yo, and Greivis was so fantastic, you know. And I'm like, all right, you know. And now, you know, my boy's popping off, got his own show. So I'm like, all right, let's get Greivis on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What a guy.
Bro.
What a guy. Yeah.
Salute to you, Jaime. That was
It's all good, bro. It's all good. Basketball. Basketball is basketball.
This was big. Yeah, dude, we'll wrap up here because I wanna let you guys go enjoy your nice Wednesday night. And I know the Heat are on. Did they start already? Where are we at?
Yeah, they started, but I haven't looked. I mean,
yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you go watch. Thank you as always. And don't forget, if you made it with us all the way to the end, there's that link in the bio, or excuse me, link in the description of this video where you can go ahead and use that StreamYard link. If you think you could do this better than us, go ahead and prove it. Use that link. Get started. You'll get a discount on StreamYard when you do so. But my brothers, Jaime, Coach Cole, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you as always.
Peace.
All right, brothers. Holla.